Yes guys, what's going on? It's Jahari again, back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about how market research changed my entire offer. So of course we're not there on the offer stage yet. So far all I've done is I've done my first initial documentation, which was me recording a documentation style vlog in live form for you guys to see. And then after that, we built the exact framework that I'm going to be using to do that, which is called the Learn, Build, and Teach formula. And then after that, we did a 0 to 10K roadmap for starters for one-to-one coaching. And today, and then after that, we did how I found my perfect niche as a beginner. So today it is how to do market research. So all I've done here is basically done a massive worksheet, and I've just taken all the best bits, and that is what I'm going to be documenting today. So this will be in the teach formula, as I've already learned and built the process for it. So with no further ado, let's get straight into it. So this is day 5, how market research changed my entire offer. Right. So I'm actually a little bit ahead at the minute, but I've come to a system which is called zero to clients. You're going to hear a lot more about it as we further along, which is more in the offer part of it. So here's what I learned, what I built, and what this has changed for me. So the core stages of this video today is what I learned and the biggest realization through the worksheets that I've done. Then what I built from learning the worksheets and how I feel about it. So my personal reflections and all the sort of revelations that I've had that have taken place. Then my next step and my invitation to you. So, introduction. So in this video, I'm going to be walking you through my market research. It's not theory, not guesses, but what I actually learned by doing the worksheet myself. And to be honest, this really wasn't fun, and it really did take me about 2.5 hours. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, it did drain me. But this is actually the kind of work that separates creators who stay stuck from those who actually build something people pay for, right? Creators, educational creators, content creators, coaches, agency owners, consultants, they all suffer the same thing. So my goal here is simple. It's just to show you a deep understanding of how my market removes confusion, overwhelm, and second guessing before I build anything. So here is what I learned through doing the worksheet. Now, the biggest realization, number 1, is beginners don't want more. All they want is clarity, reassurance, direction, someone who actually gets them. They're not lazy, they're just overwhelmed, they're a bit scared, and to be honest, they're tired of being burnt out. And I'm going to get more into this as we go down this video and into the next video lessons. So, biggest realization number 2 is trust over tactics. Now, most beginners, like myself, don't choose based on the fanciest funnel or the longest course or the loudest guru. Like, you've got the Iman Gadzis, you've got the Alex Hormozis. These guys are super, super, super ahead. Beginners really want somebody who's reliable, somebody who's also relatable to that specific step that person is struggling with, proof that you're doing it yourself, right? Something that is super simple and something that can, in my opinion, what I would like is something that can support you emotionally, right? They don't want to be impressed. They want to feel understood. And that is so real because so many times that I've purchased courses in the past where it was like this fancy thing that, they marketed super well. Their messaging was so on point. It really spoke to me, but then the product that I was buying wasn't aligning up. It just wasn't matching up. And so many courses that I have bought, I was so overwhelmed to get started. And that's because realistically, the marketing message was for me, but the product was so broad that they tried to reach everybody. And that's when beginners just, they fall off, right? So, big realization number 3: identity is the real problem. Now, what I realized is all my fears were stemmed from not having the correct foundations in my identity of how I want to carry out myself through this business, right? I would always ask questions like, who am I to teach, right? Or what if I look stupid? Like, I know people, like, they can just see my videos online. What if I look stupid? What if I just fail in public? Like, I'm doing all these documented journeys, and it's like, I don't know what's going to happen. It could go either way. Do you know what I mean? So then there was that. And then what if I, you know, go all in, put my money into it, and I just waste my money, right? So then this changed how I think about my messaging, the way I wanted to do YouTube content, my offers, how my school community should operate, and just generally my role as a coach. So there was all these different factors. But all of that is different now because I've got so much more clarity on where I'm going. And yeah, that's really, to be honest, just been absolutely pivotal, and that's helped me the most. So, so here's what I built from doing this worksheet. So this is based on a lot of studying through going through different school communities who are targeting beginners. This is also research done through ChatGPT as well, which has helped me sort of get a broader market research and sort of just put confirmation of what I was already researching. So yeah, who this market is. So my market is for purpose-driven beginners, people who are knowledgeable, they are passionate, and they're either currently creators online, on YouTube, on social media, or they're aspiring to be like that. Like, they're thinking about it, but they don't know if they should really do it. So there are also people who are trying to start an online coaching business or a course business. And what I realize is most of my market are learning from YouTube creators like Alex Hormozy, Danko, Max Perzon, who I'm also learning from, Iman Gadzi and Matt Gray. They're learning a lot. They're taking a lot in, but they're implementing very, very little. So really what they're looking for when they're choosing a course is they're looking for, one-to-one coaching or small group coaching over a do-it-yourself course. They want, sorry, that's not DIY, that is done with you. See, me ages ago, I would have gone skits about this because there was an error because I struggle with perfection paralysis. Not anymore. So yeah, what they look for when they're choosing a coaching course, they want one-to-one coaching or small group coaching with done with you courses. They want a step-by-step system that actually works. They also want beginner friendly language and not so much techie jargon because they won't understand. And massive thing is they want low overwhelm, right? Short lessons, clear checklist. They want proof through documentation and not hype, not the next big thing, but more like real evidence of it's happening live. Okay. They want to feel safe and they want to be supported through the coaches, through like a community of like-minded individuals, and they also want an affordable entry before they're going to think about going into high ticket because they just want to test to see if it actually works. Which most of these courses that I've purchased in the past, they've all been like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. Like, they've just been in the high ticket space. So because of stuff like this and because courses like this have failed, people are sort of on the edge, like they don't really know how to be. Anyway, there's that. So for one-to-one coaching specifically, people want a personal reassurance. They want clear next steps, accountability, emotional support, and proof that the person who's preaching it has done it themselves. Okay. Time and money. So a reality phase of this is most people are in full-time jobs, right? So the available time they have is about 1 to 5 hours a week. Anything more than that feels way too heavy and it just ends up scaring them off. Their spending behavior typically on programs in the industry that I'm in, they probably pay about $49 to $199 a month on tools. Great thing about Skool is it's only $99 a month, but you can get a 14-day free trial, and it's an all-in-one system. Amazing. If you guys want the link for that, I'll just leave it down below. And then when it comes to sort of beginner coaching, they'll only spend about $200 to about $2,000, right? Anything over this, that's going way too much, and to be honest, it's not going to work out. So yeah, high ticket only works after trust and proof. So beginners prefer a simple, clear, and one-time decision thing, not long commitments. So it's better to sort of just put an upfront price and then just allow the client to just do their thing, right? So how do they measure success? It's not by revenue alone. They feel successful when they get their first paying client, when they post consistently for the very first time, they build a small but engaged audience. They also feel clarity instead of all the chaos and the overwhelm. Their confidence also starts to grow. That's a big thing. Now, identity growth matters just as much as money growth because it's actually the internal that produces the external. So whatever you're feeling in here, that is going to play a big part when it comes to shooting content or when it comes to getting on calls and all these stuff. So many things can get in the way. For an example, things like their biggest fears, right? I know for me personally, these were all me, right? These were literally all me. One, being seen on camera, hated it. Choosing the wrong niche and publicly doing it, then failing it and getting the wrong niche and then having to go back, right? All these different things. And then that also led me to feeling underqualified, based on, overcomplicated systems, just wasting my money on overcomplicated systems. And to be honest, online, I think sales feels scary, right? And so many of you guys can relate to this as well. And what all of these things always lead to is just burning out, right? So most of this really comes down to, I felt this before. It's like when I just feel called to do more, but I don't even trust myself fully yet. So how can I sell something, or how can I help change someone's life? Only because I didn't trust myself fully yet. So again, this is a clarity problem. And then what makes people angry is what makes them feel angry and frustrated is contradicting advice online, YouTube, masterminds, pay courses, the works, right? They'd always overpromise and underdeliver. And then so what happened was there was so much information overload with no execution. And then because of that, they would then start comparing themselves to all these other successful creators, and then they'll just be feeling super invisible despite trying really, really hard. And I've been there, right? And their deepest desire is they want to build just a simple coaching business that they're generally proud of. They also want to monetize their knowledge or monetize their passion or use their story to create something that gives them full-time freedom, full-time location freedom, full-time financial freedom, right? They want to create content confidently, right? So many people want to do stuff like this, but they just, they feel like they can't get in front of a camera because it can be super overwhelming, which I fully understand. So yeah, and then through that, because content is king, it's actually what drives traffic. They would also want to get their first 1 to 3 paying clients, right? Another thing is they wanted to be in a supportive community where everybody is also on the same journey. And they also want to be like, oh my gosh, I can do this. Like, I'm proud of myself. Like, I can do this, right? So they want to feel proud of who they're becoming. If you don't know, I was literally brought up on these. They're banging. Anyway, back to the video. So, how I feel about doing all this market research, so my personal reflections and revelations. So, like I said, honestly, this wasn't fun. It took me way longer than I expected, and yeah, it joined me. But the massive benefit of this is it removed a ton of uncertainty. I feel so much more clearer on sort of where I'm going from, because the niche was just one thing, but market research really does working with the offer. So now I feel, because of this, I feel less tempted to copy what everyone else is doing, right? Now, there is a saying of copy what works, but the thing with that, especially when you're in the beginner stages, when you do copy what works, you also sort of subconsciously copy the creator, like their characteristic and how they are, and that's where you go wrong. So now this made me realize that I don't need to shout louder when I'm on call, or be super enthusiastic, or speaking clearer, even though it helps, right? And it confirmed something super important, right? I'm building for overwhelmed beginners, not advanced operators, right? So overwhelmed beginners is my market. And yeah, so my next step of this so far is to take everything I've learned here and now apply it to my ideal customer avatar worksheet, right? And when I understand exactly who it is that I'm talking to, then I'll know exactly what to say in my messaging. I will know how to structure my course. I will know how to structure my school community and make it a better experience for everyone, right? So this research now becomes the foundation of everything else. So my next step, right? Now, guys, so my next step. So here's my invitation to you. Now, if any of this resonated with you, like if you see yourself in any of these fears or these frustrations, or generally like sort of the desires that you're trying to get, right now I'm documenting my entire journey inside my free school community called Kingdom Coaching. You can learn, you can join for free, and just learn alongside me, and you can build without pressure or judgment, and there's no next big thing, right? No hype or anything like that, no pretending to be an expert. Literally just you coming as you are and gaining real progress in real time. So if you want to join that, I will leave a link in below. But like I said, all these videos as well, they also get put in my school community, just because I'm documenting my entire journey, right? So at Kingdom Coaching, I help purpose-driven entrepreneurs turn their knowledge and their passions into their first paying clients using the Learn, Build, Teach system, like I'm doing with recording this video now with Skool and YouTube. So what you can see at the minute is I am in the middle of building a free course for you guys, which is absolutely a game changer. These are pivotal for the foundations if you want to build anything online, okay? Especially coaching, consulting, or being a creator. So yeah, all of those videos will be put in here, but like I said, I am putting out a free course. And then if you need any extra help, you want guided implementation, then you can just book in a call with me and I can assist you there. So we'll go into the next video. 2026 is generally going to change your life, right? You got this. Remember that. You've got this. So stay blessed, and I will see you in the next one. God bless. Peace.